Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. May host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero Psych Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Kholodny Ferma. The setting is 1944. Somewhere close to German borders. The first division is making slow progress, but is suddenly finding itself under counterattack out of nowhere by the 2nd Panzer Division under the command of Smiley. Sturmovika there with the Americans. We got fortified armour, Ostrom and mechanized assault here with Smiley with triple machine gun bulletins versus Sturmovika's mechanized recon support and heavy cavalry with double infantry and Sherman bulletins there as well. We got an AMG-42 start there. Standard stuff for Smiley and the German army. Double rifle here for Sturmovika. Similarly, pretty standard stuff. Nothing sort of makes, eyeballs pop out of their sockets. Rearson's wiring off here, trying to secure the compartment here, which is always I find quite important. If your opponent Russian occupies it, they can usually put some pretty unpleasant pressure on you, so just making sure the opponent can't easily use this against as a jump board against you, that is usually quite important. Rifleman south is going to put pressure around Smiley in the south. Going to use MD-42 all moving in there. Note the way he's sort of capping up there, using to most gap with the MD-42 and then sort of setting up there, so going to quickly finish it off. And at the same time ensuring the machine gun doesn't rush, say, too far ahead there. And there we go. In this case, Rifleman quickly met with a devastating volley of lead there from both the Pioneers and the MD-42. Laying down a hailstorm the Rifleman won't soon forget. More gun leaves on the way there for Smiley. Again, note the capping order here. Sort of very particular there. Third rifle on the way there for Sturmovika. Again, so far standard stuff. He could maybe consider an early mortar here versus Smiley's machine gun, but so far the way he's handling it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be amazing. He's going to need to stuff it into buildings or something like that, really, for it to sort of, have better impact. We see they note there's actually a thing that actually some players forget, but he basically just decided it's more importantly push back the rifle around the gun. These take the great munitions point. What you see is some players they'll just stand about. There's another unit's under fire by another unit. They might not be able to beat on their own, but they'll never send in the other unit nearby just to help. They'll prioritize just grabbing the point. But sometimes the right move is actually moving your other infantry unit to support the first one, be engaged that way, gain the local advantage, pushing back your opponent, and then allowing to more safely grab territory. Right here in this case, for example, I think that was a big part there for Smiley versus Sturmovika, so I just want to point that out. Now the MD-42 there for Smiley, probably figure in this case his opponent's going for an infantry build, in which case double machine guns is quite useful as the Wehrmacht to slow that down, since the MD-42 I would say is rather crucial to the Wehrmacht, particularly the early game. Both rifles got to hold it negative cover, they won't anticipate the machine gun there. Surprisingly few players actually do. Going to do occupying houses there, fighting up with the reactions there, threatening the flank of Smiley otherwise here in the 2nd Panzer Division. MD-42 moving ahead. We got a mortar on the way there for Sturmovika and freedom, democracy. Take over there for Smiley and Nemo. So double going to use double MD-42 is slightly rarer build in some ways. Not necessarily a bad one, but you just don't see that particular version of it very often. Mortar there for Sturmovika, almost done. The 81mm mortar was actually a battalion level weapon, so it was used in sort of heavy companies, I believe, or it was actually company level, just a heavy weapon platoon. But they actually had used a 60mm mortar as part of sort of on a lower level. I can't remember if there's the platoon level or the company level right there. Been a while since I looked on that one, so there's a bit of uncertainty there from my side, admittedly. But in essence, you can sort of say where the Germans used the 120mm mortar, the Americans used the 81mm mortar. I think that sort of roughly covers it. Anyways, going to use a rifle, got a 3rd gun squad on the way there after the takeoff of Smiley. So that's a more usual build order. Smiley keeping good pressure in cuff points, trying to sort of stall Sturmovika's tech, slow him down. Very good there. Sturmovika, of course, in that sense is going to be laid from either captain or lieutenant. In the south, they're pushing through. They're basically not going to try and engage as Smiley there head on. He's going to try and outmaneuver him. Very good move there, very good. Some players tend to get a bit stubborn about this, just keep crashing headwards in, but Sturmovika is clearly here trying to successfully outmaneuver Smiley. In the south here, there's Smiley playing pretty aggressive with his machine gun and realised he actually needs to get out of there very quickly. Southern fuel point there could also now be open. MD-42 moving about there, 4th rifle squad almost done. And heading straight for the fuel. Northern fuel point there was secured, but they're going to use under command of Smiley and the 2nd Panzer Division. Rather than pushing back the grenadiers. There we go, rifle grenade. But Sturmovika is fast here that the cart sadly could not move on his own. My God, the Krauts are destroying carts. A true sign of the failures of the German mind. What are you talking about, Sarge? It's a cart. rather than forced to fall back in the end. Just not in a fighting position there, they're going to deal it. Up there, bankrupts. No sign they like to make a nice company yet here for Smiley. And there you go, big push up here. Grenadiers already in the fire from the mortar, laying down rounds there. From above, and there you go, Grenadiers forcefully pushed away in the south rather than retreating. Got another rafts coming in there. Trying to basically ensure in this case that Smiley can't get to the fuel point anytime soon, which can certainly have its benefits as well, as long as Sturmovika gets his back. Otherwise, it's not going to be quite as effectful. Sturmovika aiming there for the lieutenant. Standard choice. Has more effect and pressure on the field now rather than later. Allows him to press in more efficiently as well. I like to make a nice company up here for Smiley. Grenadiers reinforcing healing. In the far south, they're Grenadiers moving around, need to retreat. Back here, nothing further going on for Sturmovika. If he got the lieutenant out, he could go for the 50 cavalry. He's most likely to go for it. He could go for the M20, but I think the 50 cavalry is just more likely. Use the rest of the infantry and machine guns, plus light vehicles, and doesn't require fuel. So it has a lot of utility there for Sturmovika. For a reasonable price. And there you go, mortifying away here. Firing on the church, though, not anticipating the machine guns actually by the road. There you go, rifle moving ahead. Can they get to heavy cover before they get suppressed? And by Jove, they can. Bad development there for Smiley's machine gun crew. Rifle are taking 9 loss, and there you go, machine gun force back in the north. Rifle getting focused on the Grenadiers. Smiley's having known that he's counter-attacking furiously for the fatherland. This Grenadiers laying down a series of well-aimed shot, gutting the American troops caught in negative cover. Back here, the lieutenant waiting for something. Got the 5th cavalry there on the way as well for Sturmovika as predicted. As for Smiley, they like to make a nice company up. He's quick go for Panzer Grenadier here. There's all these riflemen could be good. Going for the Pack 40 since he's more worried about light vehicles. Having kind of forgotten he's actually got the fuel lead there. But Smiley is clearly taking no chances about this, which is not a bad move either, really. Sometimes you can get a bit surprised by these situations. And so being prepared is usually not a bad idea at all, and particularly since it's not exactly going to be crushed by infantry anyways right away. But Sturmovika is keeping up the pressure. He's hitting calf points. He's trying to slow down here Smiley's resource income as much as possible, which is definitely a very good move strategically. It shows the way of a sort of rough start he had. It's not going to be too rough since Smiley's not going to be able to pull a hit too far then crashing vehicles. Plus, it might in fact be one of the reasons he's going for the Pack 40 here, because he's feeling Sturmovika has a pretty good chance of catching up to him. So there's a lot to consider. In the south, the Lieutenant Rifle moving in there. We got the 5th cavalry backing up there, the Mardus. Grenadiers standing about there, mortar opening up. But he probably has to fall back with that one soon. Back at base, nothing happening there. In the base of Smiley and the 2nd Panzer Division, we got the Pack 40, but nothing further arriving there either. Grabbing the centre of victory point for Deutschland. And we got an ambulance out here for Sturmovika to help reinforce and heal his troops. Well, mostly just heal them. Don't exactly need reinforcement, help back at base. Mostly just healing there. Do we have any light machines? There you go. One light machine they're going out for Smiley's Grenadier. And there you go, 50 cavalry pushing off with the cuff point has been hit. Resource income has been slowed down there for Sturmovika a bit. Ambulance out though for the 1st Infantry.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
And we got the Grenadiers moving in the tank control sides. There will be at least one rifle grenade off here. And there we go. As expected, boxes slightly shattering beneath the impact. Got the Lieutenant on the front of the other Grenadiers, got light machine gun rifle as the Grenadiers, trying to close in to maybe get some extra damage. But he needs more support in the south, since I do believe he is a bit undermanned and outgunned. In here in the centre, machine pushing back, another push here. And the north, though, better progress there for Sturmovika. But centre and south there seems lost for now. Trying to look closer to the Lieutenant, but staying too much far from the Grenadiers as he closed in there. There's ground there for Sturmovika's Lieutenant, who has very much paid the ultimate. The Lieutenant himself is alive, but the rest of the chaps are dropping like sacks of potatoes, stacked very poorly. Healing reinforcement going on, the ambulance good to go. Nothing further there for Sturmovika as of yet. Pack 40 hanging back. Pants out the Canona, and we got Recon support. Interesting and intriguing. Paratroopers, of course, could be quite handy. with Browning light machine guns, leading them to his firepower there versus Smiley's troops, and to take it to also have them shot versus light vehicles and enemy armour. So it could certainly help make up for some of the weaker earlier moments there. And I suppose if it all comes down, you can also use the unarmed Pathfinders just to call in a lot of nasty artillery there, and Smiley, making it harder for Smiley to maintain position. So Recon support in this situation I think is actually a strong choice, plus he could also not with Greyhounds, that way put more pressure on Smiley as well. The Greyhounds should not be taken lightly. You got S-mines being laid down there, Sprengmine as they're known. And there we go, rather than catching the loot. But again, needs to finish off parts of it and round in the nose of the rifleman. Of course, needs to be careful. He suddenly he's forced to retreat, and he could risk running straight through all the mines. And of course, he might have to consider re-echelons with mines to help with this. And right here, for example, he could be forced to retreat some of the units through the S-mine field. You got the other rifle squad moving in, but it's not going to be fast enough. It's not going to be fast enough. You can also call in the airdrop combat group. Certainly consider doing that if over him. Rather than flanking up behind the MD-42, good push, and there you go, flanked. And we got a smoke down for the mortars. Well, nice work there by Sturmovika, nice work. He's actually now controlling all the map here then. Smiley, who has to take the opportunity to build a spawner core there for the German army. And rather than there continuing the path towards the fuel point. In the centre, Smiley setting up for another push for the cuff point. He has yet to choose a doctrine, by the way. He has yet to make a decision there, and been sort of just having a nice time. And 5th cover there left on its own, and there we go, we got the airdrop combat group, 82nd Airborne Division, providing a bit of airborne support. At this stage, it's all about sort of late 1944-45, where there were some large airdrops, but most of the time they were usually sort of just used as mechanised infantry in a sense, just elite troops riding about in half-tracks and whatnot. Or just basic infantry without the half-tracks and trucks. Little small note there. But there were still some bigger ones. For example, when they were crossing around, there's a really big airdrop operation using both American and British paratroopers. You send the army picking up as a rifleman, trying to finish them off in the position there. It's a bit risky, to be honest. And there you go. Almost taken out there by the mortar. Sturmovika is getting very aggressive there. And he's actually getting away with it. He's actually trying to get to the MD-42 that was getting suppressed by another MD-42, but we got a lieutenant who could basically grab it while the rifleman basically draw the fire. Nice work there by Sturmovika. 2nd Panzer Division is suffering quite gravely here up north, or back in the base actually. Paratroopers are ready. The anti-tank gun is as well. I definitely think you should get those paratroopers moving, and you should get them with a Browning light machine gun pair there. Fast. Grenadiers trying to pull a fast one there under Sturmovika's nose are quickly punished as the 5th Cavalry lay down a murderous barrage of heavy rounds. And we got the Greyhound out, the primary reconnaissance vehicles of the American Army by this stage of the war. Superseded the Stuart, which basically got moved into infantry support roles instead of the Greyhound, which again did pretty much all the reconnaissance work. 5th Cavalry being added for extra anti-crack power. Saying Norfolk's leg on his repulsed. Brown light machine guns almost done as well. There's Palmer Corps yet to go up here for Smiley's actually floating a lot of manpower. You should definitely consider some additional weaponry there. Maybe mortar of his own. Panzer Grenadiers would also think they're a very strong choice here for Smiley, but definitely something needs to happen there with the manpower rather than floating it. It's definitely, I think, giving Sturmovika a bit too much choice then getting back into the field, which is certainly something Smiley should not be actually helping his opponent with. Sniper and an MD-42 now. That's an interesting timing there from Smiley here. At least he's spending his manpower. The person would have preferred a Panzer Grenadier squad, but the sniper in the right hand, of course, is a nasty weapon. Rifle grenade off, and there we go. Nasty hit, nasty hit. MD-42 Grenadiers out, second MD-42 ready, Palmer Corps going up as well here for Smiley, meaning he can soon push out for Panzers, whereas Sturmovika, who's actually now got a nice little territory there, has yet to take up himself. And the Greyhounds are not quite going to cut it versus a Panzer for the anti-tank. It's going to be great, but that one has yet to be actually crewed up here by Sturmovika. There you go. It's going to go canister round, I think is actually what we're seeing here. There we go. One hell of a shot. Takes out half of the Grenadiers. Might try and go for the finishing hit there. Close, but no cigar though. And Smiley doesn't actually have the mission to finish off or damage it with a Panzerfaust. Pretty good luck there. The Sturmovika needs to be careful, doesn't push his luck too far here. Versus Smiley and the German army. Back 40 shoots and misses. Up north there, paratroops going in here for the northern victory point. Back here, reinforcement healing, anti-tank still standing about. And machine gun there, almost taken out here with the Greyhound. Close, but not quite there. Panzerkampfwagen feeling the way here for Smiley, and the second Panzer Division Pack 40 being shifted down there to help keep the Greyhound at bay until he can receive the Panzerkampfwagen and put some pursuit after that. And there you go, he's rushing in the ground, trying to get the sniper, but also trying to outmaneuver the Pack 40 here. Bold aggressive rate maneuver here by Sturmovika, but of course also further just slow down. Smiley's recapturing the fuel point, certainly further ensuring that Sturmovika is getting a fuel lead, though he's yet to sort of invest that into actual tech for the armour, so he definitely needs to be doing that soon. Instead he commits to the second Greyhound here. I think that is a bit of a misread of the situation. At this stage, about 16 minutes, double Greyhound is not, I think, going to do enough to really, you know, make a difference there with your opponent to has a chance of going for medium armour, which Smiley definitely has, and of course he is going for it. So I feel like this is Sturmovika perhaps getting a bit too greedy, just trying to finish off the fight too fast, but not necessarily considering the potential of his opponent actually having a Panzer front by now. And he's going to get punished for it most likely. But we could see there might be some surprises now. A big push in here. Greyhound supporting the northern push and the southern push. He's going to get awfully close to all of the Panzerfaust and the Pack 40 Greyhound moving. There we go. We got the cluster bombs being unleashed there, which, as a fun fact, were actually a direct copy of the German butterfly bombs. Like they straight up copied them. Greyhound by the way abandoned. That's some pretty good luck there for Smiley. Bad luck for Sturmovika. Pack though white, but machine gun actually got white, not the Pack. So yeah, I remember just some people complaining that the Relic just got lazy here, but no, that was literally what the Americans did. The M83 cluster bomb is a straight up rip off of the German butterfly bomb, so they pretty much also exactly like them. Well, not exactly, they basically also double as mines, as a fun fact. Basically, some exploded in impact, some had a timer, and some were basically just, you know, until they got somehow, you know, disturbed, and then they sort of went off there. I think that's got 1/3 of each or something like that. Now they're going to do this one way for Smiley. No Panzer going to do. Would like to see that though. Greyhound just standing about there, smoking. Back at base here though, he definitely needs to take up. I mean, he's got one Greyhound, he's got the anti-tank gun, but his opponent's got a Panzer IV out, and he's going to need something with a bit more impact there. Otherwise, he's going to be in a sticky situation soon enough, and there you go. Sturmovika does begin taking up for tanks. And there you go, got the Greyhound there being fixed up by the Pioniere. The Germans were quite good at scavenging enemy vehicles. In fact, it was something the British noted, amongst other things. The Germans were just under cover of the night, for example, doing North Africa, just, you know, recover their own tanks, but, you know, try and recover enemy tanks as well. And they were really good at it. They even had a full system, so you know how to designate the different vehicles they captured from enemy armies. It's a little fun fact there as well. Canadians reinforcing. Prepared to move from the north here, nice move. Almost got the MD42, they're fully flanked, but in this case they're not quite. You can see there Smiley sort of trying to react to this, pulling back the machine gun, trying to get in close to the Greyhound. Here Pentafordo's team the crossroads caveat there against the American pushing up north. More pressure, and here we got the Greyhound could try and threaten here from the north, I guess. And there you go, Paratroopers going for the flank, getting past the machine gun, but there is the Greyhound. There you go, Paratroopers rushed back as they encounter one thing they did not expect. Looks like the anti-tank got wiped here. Sturmovika pushing it too far ahead there, and Smiley more than happily punishing him for it. Cluster bombs, he definitely does not want the anti-tank falling into his opponent's hands, so he's willing to expend 110 munitions just to keep it safe from the Germans, and I mean, covered in Germans as well. Goddamn Germans exploding all over it. That's not their fault, Sarge. God damn it is. Goddamn Krauts. Gotta make it difficult for us. Grr. Machine gun abandoned. And now first on the way for Sturmovika. Smiley can soon go for a Pentacle. They could also just go for the Sturmgeschütz 3 Ausführung G. Now they're hitting the Pentacle, taking down to less than half health. And far up north, we got the Greyhound there guarding a northern push there, and the approach there. Very good, very good. I mean, a Pentacle can push away, but say just a lone Grenadier squad is not going to get past that. Machine gun at the south, Grenadiers as well here. Back there, Sherman almost done. Troops healing reinforcing. Smiley remains in the defensive versus Sturmovika, who still maintains most of the map. And there you go, Greyhound now is fully operable. Roaming about there. There you go, trying to alternate the mortar, and oh, he actually gets it, but can he steal it? Can he get away with it? I mean, that's only how about Smiley. They even get some artillery here versus Sturmovika. There you go, steals. We got the Sherman right at hand. They're high close rounds. No 50 caliber though. Good hit there on the mortar, almost got it. And we finally got a doctrine here for Smiley. It is fortified armour. An interesting choice here at this timing. Wonder what he's planning there. Could it be an elephant? Either way, we got another Pentacle on the way for him. Very good. Sturmovika can actually soon go for another Sherman. He just needs to see out the manpower for it. You could also consider the Jackson tank destroyer. Admittedly. It would be, I think, a good spot for a cluster bomb drop. But make it hard here for Sturmovika to escape him. There you go. Quick airstrike there. And wipes the Pack 40 with it, leaving Smiley short then anti-tank empty versus Sturmovika. They're not completely without any sort of ways of dealing with it anyway, since they've got the Panther 4s. Sniper there lands a good hit, gaining veterans 9 kills for the fatherland. Greyhound there, 9 servers of Deutschland. Keeps plugging away at the Americans as well. Ooh, maybe about to get executed by the Grenadiers. And there you go, I do believe that was the Nigger who bit the dirt. Yes, indeed. Pedro need of healing reinforcement, like I said, the Lieutenant. Up north, Greyhound continues to be in watch. And the German Greyhound is... not sure what that's doing. You know, Fritz, there's one thing I hate about these American vehicles. What is that? They don't use the metric system. Oh. Yes, that's gotta be terrible. Yeah. Absolutely awful. Panther moving up there, noting no pinlock machine gun here for Smiley. Anti-tank and hanging back. North Grenadiers was the Greyhound. There you go, Sherman shoots. Shatters that little bit there of cover. We got the Patriots moving in there. Victory points wise. Sturmovika is in small lead here with Smiley. Up north, Greyhound there was the Panther 4. That's definitely lopsided. Sturmovika just needs to get that Greyhound out of there fast before it gets turned into, well, a Deadhound. The South Patriot was held here by well-positioned machine guns. Sherman needs to get into support. He could also just lay down the smoke screen, but that's a bit too late now. Got the mortar then serves of Germany, pushing, opening up, and then the American position. Graham flanking up behind. Going straight into the base. He's going to try and get some wipes. He's going to try and get some wipes inside the base. Oh! Smiley, you cheeky bastard. Direct hit here, the direct hit. He might not actually risk losing the Greyhound without, you know, achieving what he wanted here. Yep, he's going to lose it. Got the Panther moving, taking advantage of the Greyhound actually acting as a decoy, exposing the rear of the anti-tank gun to the rest of his units. Well played there by Smiley, and there you go, cluster bombs in here, and the Grenadiers and the Panther on the centre. Does Smiley react in time? Oh, 9! Ach mein Gott, machine gun wiped, Grenadiers almost wiped as well, and the Panzer IV crew got themselves a bit of a nasty shake-up. And a tank recruit here by plucky and bold riflemen, but the Panther 4's right there next to it. Sturmovika is going to need more tanks, but right now he's taking some heavier manpower bleeds versus Smiley. And there you go, crew got wiped out already before they could fire a single shot there. Stealing the MD-42 right from under Smiley's nose. The problem is, of course, they're taking a lot of fire there from the Grenadiers. Panther 4, they're almost taken out. Rather unfortunate there. Sherman being fixed up while grabbing a point. Needs to be careful. He could risk getting, say, shot by something. Their rifle grenade, if he sort of figures out where it is. He spots it without Smiley realising it. And it's being held here with the machine gun, though. Rather than doing what he can as well. He's actually got 3 machine guns now, which is definitely a bit of a problem here for Smiley. It's infantry. There still always has more armour and more support. There you go. Greyhound's sneaking into the base. He's going to try and take out the Panther 4. Sturmovika, you sneaky bastard. A bold manoeuvre. Penetrating hit there. One more hit. Penetrating hit. He's got it. Can he do it? Can he do it? Shot missed. Shot missed. Oh. And he gets it. He finishes off the Panther 4 with the Greyhound. The cheeky bastard. And seems like he got stuck. Out of the way, the Greyhound down. But even then, finishing off a Panther 4 just for the cost of a Greyhound, I would say, is pretty good there for Sturmovika. Who's now actually going for a second Sherman, bringing up more armour there. Mortar crew wiped by the Sherman. Nice shot there. Caught Smiley off guard there, quite certainly. There you go. Pack 40 there lands an excellent hit on the Sherman crew in return. Back at healing reinforcement. Sherman number 2 almost down there for Sturmovika and the 1st Infantry Division. And farther up north there, the Sherman continues his raid here against the Germans. But another Panther 4 on the way there for Smiley for the 2nd Panzer to be shown. Mortar that has been recruited here by Smiley's men. Sturmovika sadly was not fast enough to get his hands back on it.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
So there we go. Sturmovika pulling up an additional Sherman tank. Anti-tank gun hanging about.
Looks like we're getting into the excitement.
And the far south they're penetrating pursued here by the Panzer 4. Closing in on Veteran 2 and the possibility of Schutzen. Very good, very good. For Smiley, that is less good for Sturmovika. Sturmovika still maintains good man control here versus Smiley, who needs, I think, put more pressure in the north and the south. Needs to get, I think, a bit less focus on the centre. And a tank gun in a pretty exposed position here. Need to be careful he does not overextend it. Shoots, misses, rifle there versus Grenadiers. We've got artillery strike called in again. Well, cluster bombs. And some units caught up there, but no wipes this time around. No wipes. Up north, double Shermans on the move there for Sturmovika. He's actually got the fuel for 3rd Sherman already. Just needs the manpower. That means he needs to preserve it. So of course that'll be the big question: can he preserve sufficient amounts of it? Jameson's most of his rifle holding a pretty weak spot. They're getting blasted by the Panther 4s, but also the sniper. Grabbing the clipping rolled out. Needs careful there. Careful.
A capture point is under attack.
Looks like he's not reinforcing any of his troops, so he might actually be setting up here for the 3rd Sherman. Could very well be he's planning on that. Bit of foresight there. North fighting there, we got the both Shermans on the move here. No 50 calibers being added. He's got the munitions, but he clearly also just wants to save the munitions as much as possible. Cluster bombs, because called incorrectly, they are quite devastating, as you've seen. Could do quite some harm to the opponent, so I imagine that's sort of what is moving Sturmovika's munitions expenditure there. And it goes Sherman on the way, at which point he begins reinforcing troops. So he's basically willing to just, concede a bit of map control for now, just to make sure it gets out more armour, so that way gain a big advantage, because we can then sort of swing around the armour more aggressively, meaning that draws most of the fight, and then sort of more easily, I think, conserve manpower. So slightly risky move there by Sturmovika in some ways, as it does give Smiley potentially the chance to push really far ahead, but Smiley doesn't quite seem to realise what Sturmovika is doing. In fact, has not seized upon it. So in this case, a bit of a gamble that pays off here nicely for Sturmovika. Although we'll have to see how nicely pays off once he gets the 3 Shermans going. Can he then wield them, I think, sufficiently well? Also note he's decrewing them here at all times, since he's not using them, just to lower the upkeep as well. So that way get more resources. There you go, Sherman out. Paratroops, rifle, machine gun sitting out there. Paratroops, riflemen in the Canadians opening up as well. Quick retreat. Pentaforce striking south as they're ready to deflect it, but Sturmovika's already run away very bravely. Now he's got 3 Sherman crews just waiting for orders to do something. He's clearly trying to, stall for some sort of major armor push here versus Smiley. As for Smiley, it's still less clear what he's planning here. Could go for more Panzerforce, could go for Stugs. Of course, also does have an idea there what Sturmovika is planning on. So, that shows a bigger question there. Panzer IV, they're flanking the anti-tank gun very nicely. Good work, good work. And going to tank and wipe again, close to being destroyed. There we go, going to do this being blasted by the machine gun there, but he's about to lose that one as well. He rifling to try and tank rifling it. I think the Panther IV scared off a bit. Though he doesn't have enough damage on him in the first place to really damage his engine, which would of course be the bigger threat. It's Smiley. But yeah, he's just building up here for a massive armoured force. I mean, he's looking at about at least soon minimum of 4 Shermans, which is actually a lot of firepower, which then if really correct could just utterly shatter Smiley. And particularly just lays down a well-coordinated series of smoke screens, then rushes in and then doing all the fighting, throws down the cluster bombs that could put some really big pressure on Smiley. So there you go, 4th Sherman on the way for the 1st Infantry Division. Third Panther folder for Smiley. And he's seeing reinforcing in there for him. It's a bit of quiet here, mostly because again the way then Sturmovika is playing means he doesn't play a lot of active matches or engagements at the moment. He's just trying to stall and buy time for that big armor push he's planning. Definitely not something you see very often. So we'll have to see how he manages actually handling it. I mean, you don't see a lot of players that from that to build a lot of tanks in this way, because it usually means they have to manage a lot of tanks, and that can't always be equally easy. So there's a potential here that Sturmovika might be biting off more than can chew. We'll see what it ends up with. Fifth cover there, pushing back the Pioneers. Panzer Force falling back. Grenadiers setting up machine gun hanging back here as well. Strange with the MG42 here. Far up north, guarding the point here. Big 2 points wise. Small lead here now for Smiley over Sturmovika, but nothing serious, nothing massive. Troops in reinforcing. Could he be getting ready here for the final big armor push? It's they're not doing anything with his Shermans. If he is, I definitely think he should be doing something. I mean, 4 Shermans is a lot of firepower, well executed. That can do some serious harm there to Smiley. But again, that's required against using them rather than just allowing his opponent to gain up free experience with murdering his infantry. And over there we got one panzer full with armoured skirts up, which means it's going to be harder for the Sherman to infantry. But there you go, finally something is happening. Finally. Sherman's on the move. Looks like he's planning to have... Oh, we got Telemans up there, so Smiley balancing first, partly due to the way he's been doing things before. It doesn't have any minesweepers, so if he's in there, of course, he's going to be doing that completely blindly in a sense, and that's going to be potentially really great there for Smiley. Oh wait, launching a base raid here with Shermans. But hits a mine already there. In this case, the Smiley was clearly prepared for it much bigger there, so in this case, Sturmovika, if does this correct, can still extricate himself from this mess. Maybe lay down some smoke screens. So far, none of them. Pack 40 million as well here. Big push from him in the centre now. The Sherman's basically drawing attention all the way up here. Very nice follow up there by Sturmovika, though he lacks anti-tank and any serious manner to really deal with the Panther Force, which are quickly meeting this American push head on. Here we go. Notice there's the cluster bombs. Sherman pushing in here again. Oh, 9! Grenadiers white, machine gun white. He needs to be careful with the Sherman, so he's really pushing his luck here versus Smiley. Ends up falling back here under cover smoke screens, very good. Need to shift the Shermans, I think, somewhere else. Now here versus Smiley. Smiley, they're falling back with him. He's continuing up north. He's continuing the pursuit here of the Shermans. Even with a heavily damaged Panther. Well, that's pretty bolted there by Smiley. Pretty risky. Anti-tank gun wiped. Bit of loss there. Machine gun also reclaimed for the German army. You should probably just try and rush the southern victory point while everything else is going on as well. Germans falling back here in the face of Smiley's German assault.
We are losing a sector.
And we got a Stug on the way to increase firepower as well the Shermans.
The enemy has broken.
Not a bad idea at all. Not a bad idea at all.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Back in over for the go. And he could theoretically aim for a 5th Sherman. I mean, that would be a lot of tanks though. 5 Shermans versus 3 Panzer IVs and a Stug. For a total of 8 tanks and a 1 Sturmgeschütz. But there you go, hitting the victory points. They lost another one here to Smiley. Sturmgeschütz almost done there for him, but he's actually at too high a pop because he can't get it. Of course, as soon as he loses just sufficient troops from his infantry squads, he should be able to get it. And there you go. It happened. Cluster bombs called in the machine gun. I feel that one is perhaps a bit ambitious, but actually almost works out there. 5th Sherman for Sturmovika. 5th Sherman. Oh goodness, this is going to lead to some kind of big arm engagement, isn't it? 5 Shermans versus 3 Panzer IVs and a Stug. That's going to be one hell of an armoured battle. Recon's not here from Smiley, trying to ascertain what Sturmovika's up to. And Pro down to figure out if he's actually going for more Shermans. Shermans are getting ready there for the next big push against the Krauts. No further take up though from Smiley, who's acting out at full pop cab. Obviously can't go for anything else. Anyways, we could still consider taking out a building bunkers. And we got Sturmovika pushing southwards and a tank and Shermans on the move and a few infantry squads as well. He needs to spread out his Shermans a bit more because, I mean, while he has larger numbers, the way he ends up could risk attacking with them is just going to negate that advantage. If you've got larger numbers than your opponent, you try to attack from a larger frontage, so it's hard for them just to pin him down, and you can use your numbers more effectively. Whereas, of course, if you're one with lesser numbers, you want to try and draw them into an engagement and sort of, negate their larger numbers, but So far it doesn't seem like Sturmovika is quite a fan of that, maybe. And 5th German almost done. He just needs to pop something up briefly here, then he can actually get it in, at which point again 5 Germans. So far no sign of it. He's in fact pulling back the Shermans. What could Sturmovika be planning here? Big 2 points while small lead here for Sturmovika over Smiley once more. Best points here to the massive armoured column there from Sturmovika. Finally upgrading the 5th covers, very good. They head on the assault into the Panther with the Stoop and the Pack 40. Oh, pretty risky there, pretty risky. Need to be careful here. I mean, this is rather playing to the German advantage, particularly with all the Stoops, Packs, then of course the veteran Panther Force. He's not really playing to the Sherman strength, but he's just, you know, flexibility, mobility here. And in this situation, though, the Germans have a much bigger advantage. Smoke screen down, but a bit too late here, a bit too late. Another Sherman down, he's down to just 3 Shermans and lost already 2. And we can see there, Smiley emboldened by this engagement he's just pursuing. He's just bearing all in his gut there on Smiley. He's almost got the 3rd Sherman, there he goes, Sherman down. Actually, that's the 4th Sherman. So that's just 1 Sherman out of 5 in a matter of moments. Panzer Force there going in, we got the Stoops supporting ambulance, an easy target here, of course, for Germany. And there we go. 5th Sherman down in a matter of moments. Ambulance can put his own with this. Sturmovika surrenders. He went from being absolutely massive, just completely dead in a couple of minutes. A brutal slaughter there. Certainly highlighting that, you know, you gotta know how to use your armor. In this case, apart, I think the issue is just Sturmovika delayed his Shermans for too long. Didn't, you know, settle around with it long. I think too passively. Also didn't try to use his numbers more effectively. Instead, he just moved the bat in one big, you know, bunch. And which made it much easier, you know, for Smiley to focus them down. I mean, had he been a proper flank with some more smoke and all that, it probably much harder for Sturmovika to get focused down. But the way he engaged it was very easy for Smiley just, you know, tearing apart that way. But it says some good play from both players, some nice aggressive tactics and movement here and there, though mid to late game Sturmovika could have been more aggressive. He got, I think, too passive to defensive and should have considered more flanks and more maneuvers that way. Smiley, I'd say, did pretty well there as well. Perhaps a bit of a weaker start, but also, well, not actually weaker start. I saw the mid game was more weaker, to be honest, but he, you know, managed to turn around, punishing Sturmovika there for his mistakes. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. And if you like what we do, you can donate or pledge on Patreon. Links in the video description. This is Pro LinkedIn. Cheers. Thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience, and hope to see you all tomorrow again for another exciting episode. Bye.